My high school English teacher would be proud. Today, we are looking at question diagramming. It is a very important piece of growing as a coach, but it is not the most exciting, I'll have to say. Coaches who focus on their language, though, and grow, they grow awareness of how they tend to ask questions, and they make adjustments based on the hard data that they collect on themselves, they will grow most effectively. If you sing in a shower without any self-criticism, anyone giving you feedback, you will be the best singer for yourself, but you won't ever be allowed on stage, and rightfully so. The same is true for coaching. We have to get feedback, and the best way to get consistent feedback is to know how to have some sort of structure or system in place to give yourself feedback on a regular basis. Throughout this entire training, this second half of the corporate sponsored coach training program, I want to encourage you to be recording your sessions, as many sessions as you can. Now, that's not to say that you will have 24 recorded sessions by the end of the 24 sessions of training, but I want you to record as many as you can, because each week, my challenge to you, and only you can do this. I could make you turn these in, but your performance on assessments it will demonstrate whether you've done this or not. We can check in on this from time to time in class. We definitely can do that. But what's most important is that you demonstrate improvement with your language in your assessing. And we'll be able to see that, whether in breakout session feedback or in the actual assessments and mentor coaching. So what's the idea? What's the practice that I would encourage you to do? Each week, to take just 3 questions. If you want to do more, you can, but just 3 questions and break them down from a recording. And you can use the same recording for, let's say, 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, and just take 3 questions a week from that recording. And you're going to break it down into the 5 main parts of a coaching session or a coaching question. Those parts are the setup. It's the pre-explanation of the question. Then you have the core starter question word. Then you have the focus of the question. Somewhere in there, you will also have the client language. And then you will have sometimes an explanation. As you do this, you will have questions that are going to be very messy, but you want to get the sense of what is the core area of focus. Maybe how many questions you ask to get there. And one question diagram might have 5 starter words if it was a messy stacked question. But this one question, you can diagram it on those 5 different parts. Setup, your starter word. What was the starter word? A closed starter word like does, should, and so on. Or was it open? Who, what, why, how, and so on. The focus. What is this really exploring? Now, in assessment, we also take that focus and consider, is that looking at situation? Is it looking at awareness and learning? Is it a focus on the identity of the client? We're just saying this is the focus. You're just putting it on the page. And the client language, where does that connect? Where is that landing? Ideally, the client language is in the focused area. It's not on the beginning. It's not on the tail if there's a setup and explanation. It's just in that focus area. And then you have the tail. You have the explanation. As you diagram just 3 questions a week, the goal is to drop the beginning and the end, the setup and the explanation. Some questions might benefit from a bit of a setup, but most of the time, a setup and especially an explanation are going to make the question less direct or less to the point and clean. So we want to keep driving at that clean question language. For now, we're just creating awareness of the patterns that we have by doing this. And you doing this for yourself, just 3 questions a week, just 5 minutes of your time to write this out, listen to it, write it out. It will help you improve because you will begin to see patterns. Thank you again for coaching.